Welcome to Moonshot Radio with your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. With me today here in the studio is Michael Kint, CEO of United Way of Indian River County. Michael, welcome.
Thank you very much for allowing me in today.
Thank you for joining us, Michael. Michael, we hear a lot of good things about United Way, the work in the community, but overall, what is the organization's core mission, you would say?
Well, the stated mission is to improve lives by mobilizing the caring power of communities. In all of that, I think the word that's probably most important is communities. When I dissect what are the different things that we do and support, either take the lead in or play a role in, it really has to do with working with the many different communities. And we're not talking about geographic, though it could be. We don't just serve Vero Beach. We serve Fellsmere and Sebastian and Winter Beach and Indian River Shores. So geographically, communities work, but it also works in terms of, you name it, ages, gated communities, mainland versus whatever, churches. We're all members of many different communities. And I think at its core, what United Way is doing through the many different activities that we're involved in is trying to bring those communities together, sometimes in new ways, sometimes in ways that have, and building on relationships that have been there for years, sometimes forging new relationships, but working with everyone to make Indian River County the best place that we can make it and to improve the lives of folks in particular that are hurting.
And that's so powerful to hear, Michael, that word community. United Way is not only serving communities, but creating and building that sense of community that is so important.
Oh, absolutely. Anything that's truly had a great deal of success in this community or anywhere, it's always neat when it's one person who's out there and can make the difference. Boy, those don't come along that often. It really is just a group of dedicated people. I should know the Margaret Mead quote, the only thing that does work is a group of people just getting together and making it happen. And it is true, and we've seen that in this community. We've meaning United Way, has been party to some of it, some very actively, some in the background. But the successes, I think, that really resonate with me, and I think have resonated with the community. Moonshot Moment would be the perfect example in this instance. Have come from those kind of collaborative, really collective efforts to move the dial, to get somewhere, to make a difference, to help people.
Definitely. So, Michael, could you give some examples of how that sense of community comes to life here in Indian River County? You mentioned Fellsmere and Sebastian and other areas within the county. So how does that mission come to life here?
Well, I've got a great team. I mean, I'm really fortunate. Most people don't know, but my background actually was in education and in theater. I was a theater educator, and I was a director. My master's is in performance directing. I reference that because as a director, it's all about the collaborative spirit. Unlike painting or sculpture or things that are done where you're the artist, where it's an individual art, this is a performance art, and it's a collaborative effort by groups of people. I've got actors. I'm talking like I still work in the theater. I'll get back to it. You've got actors. You've got different designers doing lights or costumes or scenery. Yeah, and then it's that process. So, from a United Way perspective, all that work I did in all those years teaching and directing is so applicable, because what I've got now is kind of a new production going on all the time. The staff is part of it. I've got a great staff. It is a great team right now. But every year, whether we're raising money, giving out money, working on very particular events, Day of Caring, Jackie Robinson ballgame, we are engaging literally on any one thing dozens of volunteers. Over the course of the year, hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. That community kind of starts by making sure we've got people that can find a spot where they're interested, where they feel like they can be part of the process for us. And we strive to make sure, as much as possible, that we're getting representation from as many communities as possible. But that's where the work starts, I think, by pulling all those people together and then just seeing what you can do. I can raise money. I got a staff that can go out and raise some money, but we wouldn't raise $3 million. Mm-hmm. You know, we can make some impact. We would, but we're not going to bring it to scale the way that dozens and hundreds of people can. So it proves itself out in terms of communities, basically, in whatever we're doing, because it's going to take all those people to really be successful and to have the capacity, the scale that you want to have when you're doing it.
But what a perfect metaphor to say it's a performance.
Well,
and that you have a cast of actors.
It's where I was grounded and schooled, and I have a great love for the arts and theater in particular. But that's come up a lot for whatever reason in the last couple of months. It seems like I've had that conversation because I talk about the team at the work, but it really is. I mean, that process then of working collaboratively, the skills I had as a director and as a teacher are the same skill sets that you need when you're a CEO of this kind of organization. Yeah, there's all of it was applicable. Who knew that it was going to be? I don't think I was that smart back then, but after 23 years, I most definitely see.
It all helps, right?
It most definitely helps.
It all helps, Michael. Michael, you mentioned collaborative spirit.
Yeah.
And I like that. Let's dig deeper into that, because I think that there are a lot of folks who don't necessarily understand the work that United Way does to help collaboratives. Now we're talking about organizations. Mm-hmm. So could you define what a collaborative is and the role that United Way has in establishing collaboratives here in our county?
I'm going to sidetrack slightly in that many people who know of United Way think fundamentally about United Way as a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. We're in that season, folks, where the thermometers are about to go up around town. You see the thermometers and you're tracking, donation efforts. It's a resource development effort, yes. But United Way is so much more than that. And it does take money to support a lot of the things that we're doing. From a collaborative standpoint, it's a word everybody likes to use. Yeah, we're going to collaborate on that. And a lot of times that means, I'm going to just latch on and take everything that I can get out of this rather than really being a true and honest collaborator. Collaboration's a lot like cooperation. You put whatever word you want on it, but the bottom line is everybody needs to bring something to the table, and there has to be a mission or a vision, a set of goals that everyone generally understands. Well, not generally, everyone understands, so that you can do whatever you can to help move you toward that solution. I'm going to switch to perhaps the most successful collaborative that I personally have been engaged in. And it dates back 12, almost 13 years. Mental health issues in every community kind of cuts across everything. All ages, all sectors. Mental health issues are unfortunately issues, those behavioral issues, that touch all of us in our families, in our work. Mm-hmm. United Way was having a real tough time figuring out how we could bring a greater focus to what those needs were in those behavioral and mental health issues. We had a committee, I don't even remember its name back in the day, that would meet regularly, and they'd get good people around the table and come up with some ideas and do a study and bring FIT down. And nothing ever moved us forward. We talked a lot, but nothing came together. And about 13 years ago, and I'm not honestly sure who gets the credit, but there was a group of about 4 or 5 folks. 3 of them were funders, which does make a difference: United Way, the hospital district, and the McCabe Foundation, Ellie and Bob McCabe, along with a couple of others who said, can we try something different? We've got some leverage as funders. Let's see if we can't work together and try to bring the players together and take a different tact. And the bottom line is, everybody started putting in a little bit of money. That little bit of money hired a half-time administrator that was working with the Mental Health Collaborative. It was a true collaborative. It was not incorporated with the state. It did not have a 501c3. United Way gave it an office in our facility for that half-time staff person. We kept the books. We were the fiscal agent for it. We were one of the key funders for it. And it kept growing little by little, and we were kind of seems silly, but we we encouraged strongly that all of the providers in the mental health arena get together and start talking to one another. Everybody was just worried about filling their own needs, making their own budgets. And we brought them together and said, no, talk to one another. We've got to systemically do some new things. And things just kept growing. I'm going to fast forward without lots of more detail and say that here we are. A year and a half ago, the Mental Health Collaborative incorporated, hired a full-time director, has a staff of 4 now working down on 14th Avenue, or St. Lucie Avenue, I think. It's right at the switch, in the Mental Health Collaborative and the McCabe Connection Center, doing amazing work. Now, that took 13 years to really fully come together, at least a dozen. And it was because everybody was doing what they could do, and then it grew, and then you'd identify a new problem or program and pull together on it. That model worked amazingly well. Let's go to KRC. Moonshot Moment. We're the backbone agency there is the Learning Alliance, but I mean, it's a true collaborative. Many organizations involved. As we were sitting around that table, and we were part of it, but we didn't, we weren't the catalyst. But as we were talking about 3rd grade, the fact is, United Way was one of those groups that kept saying, if we really want to make sure those kindergartners are going to enter school on level, be kindergarten ready, K ready, and get to that 3rd grade goal, we got to start earlier. And the thought was, maybe we need to do some kind of kindergarten collaborative. Hence the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, which you run. Same kind of scenario. We said, we've got a model that worked. So we gave KRC an office. We became a funder for them. We acted as fiscal agent for you. We actually learned our lesson when we worked with the Mental Health Collaborative. We didn't expect to be their fiscal agent for 12 years. I think we gave you guys 2 years to get to the point where you could incorporate. But there's 2 great examples of how the communities come together in a true collaborative spirit to advance something that's very important to all.
Those are great examples, Michael. We're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our 2 focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our New Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
For more than 160 years, PNC has been committed to providing their clients with great service and powerful financial expertise to help them meet their financial goals. The PNC Foundation, which receives its principal funding from the PNC Financial Services Group, actively supports organizations that provide services for the benefit of communities in which it has significant presence. The foundation focuses its philanthropic mission on early childhood education and community and economic development, which includes arts and culture. Through Grow Up Great, its signature cause that began in 2004, PNC has created a bilingual $350 million multi-year initiative to help prepare children from birth to age 5 for success in school and life. For more information, go to pncgrowupgreat.com.
Looking for a change? How about Renaissance? Visit Renaissance Senior Living and see what La Vida Bella means in Vero. Convenient to downtown and Miracle Mile at 2100 10th Avenue, US 1. Offering 36 apartments for assisted living residents to live the good life close to everything in Vero. We have 24 apartments for memory care residents, a secure and safe space for those living with dementia and Alzheimer's issues. Stay connected to your loved ones' lives and find new friends to share your life with. RenaissanceVeroBeach.com to find out more.
For laser vision correction, general ophthalmology, glaucoma, and eyelid surgery, trust board-certified, fellowship-trained refractive surgeon Dr. David J. O'Brien at New Vision Eye Center. His practice includes the medical and surgical management of corneal disease and refractive surgery, including excimer laser vision correction. Call New Vision Eye Center for a consultation or second opinion. Your eyesight deserves world-class eye care. Visit newvisioneyecenter.com or call 772-257-8700.
We're back to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of KRC. With me today here in the studio is Michael Kint, CEO of United Way of Indian River County. Michael, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Michael, let's talk a little bit about the Moonshot Literacy movement and the connection that United Way has to it.
An easy way for me to reference it might be 20 years ago, the United Way system developed, actually the program was developed in Minneapolis called Success by 6, which really was just saying, we've got to do everything we can for kids from birth to 6 years of age. That's a critical time. Well, we embraced it, as did many other United Ways. And then very shortly thereafter, when they really started doing the brain research, they determined that, 6 years was a nice, it sounded good. But the fact is, you got about 1,000 days. It's 0 to 3. Brain development is birth to 3. My point is, from a United Way perspective, we had programs and projects and funded a fair number of programs that were dealing with kids in early education. So it was a natural fit for us to be involved. Again, third grade is relevant. It's very important. We know what that data shows if those kids aren't reading on grade level. But I said before, those kids have got to get to kindergarten ready. And there's so much that has to be done early on, hence our development and support of Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative.
And that truly makes a difference. As you say, education starts very early on, from birth on, and working with parents and
prenatal,
creating that partnership, right?
Exactly.
And making sure that people understand that, I think, is really the key.
Parental education still probably is as key to everything that has anything to do with Moonshot Moment as we go down the pike. And I think it's one of those areas that just is, you got to perpetually develop. It's an ongoing awareness campaign for all the moms and dads. Even if they've got kids, there are things they probably don't know that they should know that might help them. I'll say again, I did a moment ago, it's prenatal. It really is. So the things that it takes all those groups, all those individuals, starting with moms and dads, to all those child care centers that are taking care of these kids, the VPK programs, and then right into the school system then as kindergartners. I mean, there's going to be an alignment there. And it's one of the things that KRC and the Moonshot Moment are focused on, and how they can buttress one another and support one another.
Michael, any upcoming events that United Way has that we want to share with our listeners?
Yes, a couple of things. Annually for many years, and I ought to know the number, but I don't, we have a holiday citrus sale. And that's happening again starting on Monday, the 26th of November, Monday through Friday of that week. If you'd like to order citrus, and citrus here means specifically grapefruit or oranges, navel oranges. You can get a 2/5 or a 4/5 and buy it and get it all filled out and get it shipped to all your family up north. So you want to come to our office, 1836 14th Avenue. Just watch the internet. Go to our website. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're doing that. And the other thing I want to promote when we get into the new year, VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. We have volunteers that filed almost 800 tax returns last year free of charge that brought back $1 million into this community. And almost anybody can qualify for that. So when it comes time to do your taxes, you don't need to pay. I hate to take business away from anybody. And we've got great CPA friends in the community. Right. They even support the VITA program. Two things that are down the pike that people can find out more about.
That's great information, Michael, and people can certainly visit the United Way website.
Absolutely. www.unitedwayirc.org.
Michael, thank you for joining me today, and thank you for your support of the Moonshot Literacy Movement, and thank you for your support of KRC. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me a chance to talk a little bit more in depth about United Way and the things we do.
Thank you. And until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.